In the city of Lamora, where the sky often burned orange with the glow of neon and smog, there lived a young man named Ezra Vale. To most, he was an ordinary street artist, blending into alleyways and painting murals of freedom and light. But when night fell and danger crept through the veins of the city, Ezra became something far more extraordinary. He became Lucent. Lucent wasn't born with powers. His abilities came after an accident in an underground power station, where a failed energy experiment caused a citywide blackout. Ezra had been tagging the walls there, a protest against corruption, when the energy surge struck. He woke up hours later, his body humming with electricity and his eyes glowing faint blue. At first, the powers terrified him. He could phase through metal, control light, and hear electrical signals like whispers in the air. But soon, he realized these powers weren't a curse, they were a call. By day, Ezra kept his identity hidden, moving through the city like a ghost, never staying in one place for too long. But by night, he became Lamora's guardian. Criminals who used darkness as cover found themselves blinded by Lucent's piercing light. Data thieves who thought themselves invisible were stopped by his ability to trace their digital footprints. Ezra never sought fame. He left no signature, no clues, only a faint shimmer in the air and rumors whispered in a "Lucent saved me," or "he came from the light." One evening, as a storm brewed above the skyline, Ezra picked up a strange frequency, a signal buried in static, repeating over and over, "Project Nox begins tonight." He traced it to an abandoned skyscraper in the industrial sector. Inside, he discovered a group of rogue scientists and mercenaries working under the command of a shadowy figure named Virek. Virek had once been a city official, now presumed dead after a lab explosion. But here he was, alive and powered by a dark version of the same energy that changed Ezra. "You shine, boy," Virek said, stepping into the light, his body cloaked in pulsing darkness. "But every light casts a shadow, and I am yours." The battle that followed shook Lamora. Lucent and Virek clashed in midair, their energies ripping through buildings and lighting up the night like artificial dawn. Citizens watched from windows, eyes wide with fear and hope. Lucent fought not just with power, but with purpose. He protected those below, redirecting blasts, absorbing energy, and never letting rage cloud his mind. Virek, consumed by vengeance, grew unstable. With a final surge, Lucent enveloped them both in a blinding sphere of light, drawing Virek's energy into himself and collapsing to the ground. When Ezra awoke days later, he was in a hidden clinic run by allies he didn't know he had. Virek was gone, disintegrated, some said, or perhaps hiding in the shadows once more. Lucent became a symbol, not of power, but of resilience. Ezra returned to his murals, now painting not just light, but hope. Children copied his glowing eyes in chalk on sidewalks. The city, once lost in smog and corruption, slowly began to breathe again. And though he never revealed his face, Ezra knew he was seen, not as a hero who could fly, but as a person who chose to stand in the light, even when the night called louder. In the city of Lamora, where the sky often burned orange with the glow of neon and smog, there lived a young man named Ezra Vale. To most, he was an ordinary street artist, blending into alleyways and painting murals of freedom and light. But when night fell and danger crept through the veins of the city, Ezra became something far more extraordinary. He became Lucent. Lucent wasn't born with powers. His abilities came after an accident in an underground power station, where a failed